Okay, so today we are in topic 7, block 8. Our goals are to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers, apply properties of operations to operations with rational numbers, use rational numbers to solve multi step real world problems, compute unit rates associated with ratios of fractions, and describe situations where opposite quantities combine to make zero. So today, what we're going to do is a little bit different than what we normally do. You'll notice that we're on page 12 of block 8 already. And the reason is because everything from 9 through 11 is pretty much redundant, meaning that we have done it over and over and over again. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on what we haven't done today, and we're also going to go over a topic 7 study guide so that everybody will be prepared for the topic 7 unit test that is coming up tomorrow. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this. If you would, Miss Roy Kia, would you read this for us, please, ma'am?
What part?
All of it.
Okay. In this topic, you perform many operations or rational numbers. It is time to put these operations together. Apply the order of operation to simplify the expression in this animation. Click on the part of the expression that should be simplified first. Continue this process until the expression is simplified. If you need to review the order of operations, click the hidden.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through this step by step. We're going to be on page 213 in our workbook. So if you don't have that workbook open, turn to 213. If you're somebody that's lost your workbook, get a sheet of paper out and write that problem down exactly like it looks.
We have this problem. It's on page 215.
Okay, 215. Thank you, ma'am. We're going to be on page 215. Now, when we say the order of operations, what do we use so that we can remember the order of operations?
PEMDAS.
PEMDAS. What's the P stand for?
Parentheses.
So what do you think we're going to do first?
The fractions.
Yeah, the fractions in the parentheses. So,
What did I tell you?
sir?
Oh.
So it says to click on the part of the expression that should be simplified first. Y'all said the parentheses, so I'm going to click it. All right, so it already knocked it out for us. But if you didn't write it down, you don't know what just happened. So that's 1/3 divided by 2/3. So what's really happening is we're taking 1/3 and we're multiplying it by the reciprocal of this. So the reciprocal would be what?
3/2.
Correct. And these 3's are going to do what since they're the same?
Cancel each other out.
Correct. And 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 2 is 2, and that's what we just got. Okay? So we're going to go to our next step. Now, remember the next thing. Remember, if we have our PEMDAS, like y'all said, we've done our parentheses. But now there's something else. What comes next?
Exponents.
Exponents. So where is that at?
It's a 2. Oh, the 2.5.
Yeah, well, this little 2 right here, right? So they're taking 1.5 and multiplying it by itself 2 times. So they're taking 1.5. That 1.5 don't sound right. 1/2 times 1/2. 1 times 1 is?
1.
2 times 2 is?
2.
I disagree.
4.
2 times 2 is 4.
4.
All right. Isn't that what they have here?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what are we going to do for our next step? If you're not writing this down, it's very important that you write down what I'm writing down so that you don't get lost when you have to work one of these problems by yourself. There's definitely going to be some of these on our test.
We're gonna multiply.
Yeah, we're going to multiply. Good job. What are we multiplying?
-2 times 1/4.
All right. So let's do that. How do I do that? What do I do? What can I do to that -2 so that I can just multiply straight across?
Make it a fraction.
Yeah. Yeah. And how would I do that?
Put it over 1.
Good.
Put it on the number.
And so -2 times 1 is?
-2.
And 1 times 4 is?
4.
Can I simplify -2 for us?
Yes.
How? What would I do?
Divide them both by 2.
And what would I get?
1 and 1/2. No, just 1/2.
Okay. Would it be positive or negative? It's a negative times a positive, so it'll be negative. All right, let's take a look at it and see if they did it the same way we did. Isn't that what we got?
Yes.
All right, if you don't have this written down, make sure you're writing that down. That's the third step that we've done. So what's going to be the final step, Jamal?
We're going to add -1/2 plus 5.
Okay, so if we have 5, can y'all see my hand? If we have 5 and we take a half away, what do we now have?
4.
And a
half.
Yeah, good. That makes sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. You want to see a trick? Made me think about a half. So check this out. Can y'all see that finger? Y'all see that thumb? Watch this. Oh! Did y'all see it? Y'all didn't see it. It's okay. It's okay. Oh, that stuff be tricking folks some days. All right, here we go. It's a little kid joke. It works for little kids. If you learn it, it'll impress them. All right, here we go. So we got what for our final answer?
4 and 1/2.
4 and 1/2. Good deal. Hazel's watching TV. She ain't worried about today. That girl's in the zone. You watching the news? Don't nothing come on TV this early. You must be on Netflix. You must be watching Cobra Kai or something. What are you watching?
I'm watching a movie called The Pacifier.
The Pacifier with Vin Diesel. The big bowed up white dude with a bald head? Yeah, he plays in Fast and Furious. I know who you're talking about. He's pretty cool. He's a secret agent, right? In that movie? Yeah, cool. All right. Well,
And then he goes to work with the family.
yeah. Well, try to make sure you're focusing. All right. Here we go. So we are going to take what we just learned from this, and we're going to go to page what? What's the next page after 12?
13.
Yay! There ain't one, though. I'm going to be honest. We're going to consolidating your skills with rational numbers. All right. So what we're going to do, look at this. This girl, this is like Roy Keel playing the guitar. All right. Looking at this, it says, have you ever had to learn how to do something new? Was it challenging for you? Learning a new skill takes practice. After lots of practice, some of your skills become automatic. In other words, you developed automaticity. When it comes to those skills, being automatic with a skill doesn't mean you do it without thinking about it. Rather, it means that you understand the skill and know how to execute it. This frees you to concentrate on applying the skill in new contexts. The time it takes to master or become automatic with those skills can vary from task to task and person to person. So, in this exploring, we're going to strengthen your skill with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing rational numbers. And we're going to do that by continuing to use the skill in the rest of the course and in future math courses. So that's why I say it's important to practice, because whenever you practice, You automatically know what to do. And if you automatically know what to do, then it's easier, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it gets easier. All right, so what I want to look at is I really want to look at our question right below on that page 215. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Now we remember using a number line. Let's go ahead and look at this real quick. We got 6 minus 8 and 1/2. So if we're at 6 and we go back 8.5 steps, where would we be?
2.5.
Yeah, and would that 2.5 be positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Good. All right. Let's work on these fractions real quick. What is negative 5 plus 2.5? If you're at negative 5 and you move 2.5 places forward, where would you be?
3. Negative 3.5.
You're very close. That would be negative 5 plus 1.5. So what would negative 5 plus 2.5 be?
Negative 4.5.
Whoop. Let's get on the number line.
2.5. Oh, no, we're going backwards, ain't we?
Yep.
I'm sure I thought we were going forward.
All right, so we're here. And we're going 2.5 units. So that's 1, 2.5. And so we start at the negative 2 and we go half more. So that would be negative 2 and a what?
Half.
There we go. Good. Good thing we went over that. What if we were at that next one? Well, now let's go to the bottom. Negative 2.5 plus 6 1/3. That's going to be a little bit more complicated, isn't it? What would we need to do to 2 and 3?
Multiply.
Yeah, just find a common denominator. So 2 and 3, if we were to multiply those together, what would we get? 6. So what times 3 is 6?
2.
So we do the same thing to the numerator. And what times 2 is 6?
3.
So we do the same thing to the numerator. So we get negative 2 and what? What's 1 times 3?
3, 6.
Good.
4. Oh, only 3, 6.
Plus, now we got 6 and what?
What that is?
What's 1 times 2?
Oh, I know what that was. That's 2.
And 3 times 2.
3 times 2, 6.
Good. All right, so we're at negative 2 and 3/6, which is the same as saying negative 2.5. So we're right here. And we're moving 6 units to the right. And then 2/6. All right, so that would be 1, 2, 3. I'm going to run out of space. 4. We do it again. 5. 6 would be past 3. And then we got to go 2 more sixths. Now, another way we could do this is 6 and 2/6 minus 2 and 3/6. I can't do this because I got to borrow, right?
Is it?
So what could I do? How could I make this How could I borrow from this since this is a sixth? What could I do to this? One whole would be how many sixes?
6.
Yeah. So if I cut this out and I make that 5 and I add 6 to this, this is the same as 5 and 8 sixths is the same thing. So all we do is we rewrite it 5 and 8 sixths minus 2 and 3 sixths. What's 8 minus 3?
5.
Good.
2.
And what is 5 minus 2?
3.
Let's check our answer. Ta-da! Did we get it right?
Yes, sir, but that was long.
It was a little long, but it did work, huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. So let's take a look. I'm going to double check these real quick. And if they're not what we want, then we're going to go to, there we go. That's what I want to look at. This problem right here is what we're going to work on. So I want everybody to look right here. I want everybody to try to do this problem on their own. This is the order of operations. Very important to follow. I want us to try these 3 problems using the order of operations. Now, this is actually getting into block 9 as well. And so if you're looking for your workbook, this would be probably around question 6 in your workbook on block 9. What page would that be? 219. So this would be page 219. So we're kind of putting a couple lessons together today, but we're going to make it work. So I'm going to give us about 3 minutes to do this. So go back, refer to your notes, and try to solve these. Don't watch TV right now. Don't look at your phone right now. Just try to solve these. Let's take a look at it and see what happens. Who feels confident in trying to guide us through this? If you're raising your hand, I can't see you, so speak up a little bit. Or I'm going to call on someone. Going once, going twice. All right. Let's see who the lucky random person is. Let's go with Tashandrick. Tashandrick, what's the first thing that you would do?
Parentheses.
Good. So we're going to do this one first. All right. So we got negative. I'll tell you what, let's write this out all the way so that no one gets confused. All right, he said we're going to do the parentheses first. So what do I need to do to be able to make this happen? I can't divide by a fraction. I need to do what? There we go. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to rewrite this. I'll start up here. We'll rewrite it as negative 3 times negative 1/3 times, what's the reciprocal of negative 2/3, class?
3/2.
Great, and that's a negative. So Tashandrick, what is negative 1 times negative 3?
3.
Good, and what is 3 times 2?
6.
So what are we going to get for this?
3/6.
Correct, which would simplify to
2.
Look what we just did here. I took the 3's and I canceled them out. And when I canceled them out, we got -1 times -1, which is
You don't play on my phone?
Zayden.
Don't play on my phone?
Zayden.
They're right there.
Good Lord, boy. All right. We're going to take -3. We simplified it to -1 because we were able to simplify the denominator 3 to 1. So -1 times -1 is, help him out,
1.
class, 1. And 1 times 2 is, y'all are better than that. 1 times 2 is?
2.
Thank you. Jemiah, you had a question. What's up? Jemiah, you raised your hand? Maybe it was an accident. What's the next step? What are we going to do next? Hey, man, I'm trying to go over this study guide with y'all today. We ain't going to get to go over it if we don't work. Go ahead, Emma.
Multiply.
Correct. We're going to take -3 and multiply it by 1/2. So what do I need to do to -3 to be able to multiply it by 1/2?
Put it over 1.
Correct. So we got -3 over 1 times 1/2. What's -3 times 1?
3.
Good. Is it 3 or -3?
Negative.
And what's 1 times 2?
2. 2.
All right. Now, what do we need to do to -3 halves so that we can add it to 1?
Make it an improper fraction.
All right. So how do we do that? Anybody know? We need to see how many times 2 will go into.
3 into it. 3 halves.
Correct. So 2 goes into 3 how many times?
1.
1. And when we subtract, we're left over with 1. And that 1 is our numerator. And 2 is our divisor, so it's our denominator. So we get -1 1/2 plus 1. So what would we be left with?
2. -1/2 plus 2.
Well, look at that. We have 1 whole, and then we have -1. If you have 1 whole and you take away -1, I can't say take away -1. If we have -1 and we have 1 whole, what happens to them when they're combined? What do they do to each other?
Cancel each other
Yeah,
out.
they cancel each other out. So what's left? If this is gone and this is gone, all that's left is the negative what?
The -1/2.
Correct. Because if you're at -1 1/2 on a number line and you move 1 unit to the right, you're still not going to be at the 0. You would be at the what?
Negative.
Yeah, -1/2 mark. Good. All right, so let's take a look at our next problem. Run us through this one, Ms. Layla. What's the first thing we would do on this problem here?
Parentheses.
All right, and we can't really do much with inside the parentheses, but we do know that the parentheses next to a number means that we need to do what? Multiply, that's right. We're going to multiply that -5 times -2.5. So the easiest thing to do is we got this calculator, so let's just use it. We know that a negative times a negative is a
Positive.
So we're going to take -5 times -2.5. That didn't work. I'm going to just do 5 times 2.5 since we know it's already positive. What do we get?
12.5.
All right, we got 12.5. So we're left with -4 plus 12.5. I don't guess we checked our answer. There we go. We checked it now. So if I'm at 12.5, I'm on the positive side on a number line, and I move 4 places to the left, I'm now at what?
8.
And a
Half.
good. We're moving right along. Y'all got it going. And our last one. What are we going to do first here, Chandler? Moving on to another person. What are we going to do next? Chandler said his mic's not working. So type in the box, Chandler, and tell us what we're going to do first. Who can help Chandler out? What are we going to do first? Miranda, what do you think we should do first? Sarah, what do you think we should do first?
Do parentheses at first.
Thank you. That's exactly what we're going to do. So if we're at -3.5 and we move 6 units to the right, where would we be? Or if we were at 6 and we took 3.5 steps back, where would we be?
3.5.
Say it again.
3.5.
All right. I want you to think about a number line. This is 6.
2.5.
Yeah. We're at 6. We go 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and a half of a step. So we would be at 2.5. Does that make sense? All right. So now we have 2 times 2.5 minus 5.5. What's the next step that we would need to do here? What would we do, Jemiah?
Hold on.
We've completed the parentheses. We completed the exponents. What does it mean when this 2 is near the parentheses like this? It means to do what?
Multiply.
That's right. So we're going to do 2 times 2.5. So 2.5 plus 2.5 would be
5.
5. And so I have 5 minus 5.5. So what would that end up being?
0.5.
Do y'all agree?
Yes.
I do. Let's check it. All right. Now, is it going to be negative or positive?
Negative.
All right.
Negative.
Great. And the reason it's negative is because -5.5 is further away from 0 than 5 on the number line. All right. Anybody have any questions? Good. Let's go to our study guide. So this is going to conclude our topic 7, block 8, and block 9 lessons. And now we're going to move to our topic 7 study guide so that we'll be prepared for our test. So let's see what we can get accomplished. So if you don't know where this was, all you did was you went to your classes and you went to our virtual class and we clicked on topic 7 study guide. Click on instructions and actually click on this study guide itself. So let's take a look at this. It says put these temperatures in order from warmest to coldest. Now I'm going to randomly pick people today to do this. I'm going to start with Christopher. Christopher, can you put these in order from the warmest to the coldest temperature? Make sure you're participating so you can get your points today. So this is Christopher's turn.
22.
All right, good job. What would come next, Chris?
9.
Great,
5.
great,
0.
great.
And -2.
That is perfect. Does anybody disagree with what Christopher said? No, he did a great job. Great job. All right, let's take a look at our next one. Read this one for us, please. Go ahead, Emma.
If the temp drops 3 degrees every hour during the snow day and it was 34 degrees at noon, what was the temperature by 6 p.m.?
All right, so it drops 3 degrees every hour during the snow day. It's 34 degrees at 12 o'clock. What was the temperature by 6 o'clock? So how many hours is it from 12 to 6?
6.
6. And it says it drops 3 degrees. So would that be a positive or a negative 3?
Negative.
Okay. And what would you need to do with these two numbers?
Multiply them.
Good. So what would that equal? What's 3 times 6?
Negative 18.
Good. So it was 34 degrees and it dropped 18. So would you add that or subtract it?
Subtract it.
All right. So minus 18. So I can't do that without borrowing. So I got to borrow here. So what are we going to do?
14 minus 8.
Is
6.
12. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
you good? You were thinking 8 plus 4. That's where it happened. All right. So 14 minus 8 is 6. And then we got 2 minus
1.
which is
1.
that's pretty cold. 16 degrees. Now, if we want to check our answer, we just add these together and see if it's 34. 8 plus 6 is 14. 1, 2, 3. So our answer works. So our answer should be what?
16.
Good. All right, let's look at our next one. Go ahead, Miss Deonti. I want you to read this and try it.
Lowest elevation point in Louisiana is -8. The lowest point in elevation for Virginia is 95. What is the difference in elevation between these two states?
So how would we find that? If we're thinking about a number line, and this is 0, this would be -8. And we'll say that this is 95. How many units is it from 0 to 95? Good. How many units, Deonti, is it from 0 to -8?
-8.
All right. Remember, units are just distance, so it wouldn't be negative. It'd just be what?
8.
Correct. So I need to figure out how far it is from here all the way to there. So what would I need to do with 8 and 95?
Do you multiply them or divide them?
What do y'all think? Can y'all help her out? If we want to combine them, what would we do?
Add.
Yeah, we want to add them. So, Deonti, we got 95 plus 8. What's 5 plus 8?
13.
Good. And Deonti, what is 9 plus 1?
10.
So what should our answer be, Deonti?
130.
Good. Anybody got a question? All right. Now, you'll notice that right here it says high minus low. If we would have done 95 minus -8, remember anytime we subtract a negative, what sign do we have to make that? Emma's talking, but I can't hear her. But yes, addition is correct. All right, and 95 plus 8 equals what, class?
87. No.
What? 95 plus 8?
Oh, we're adding. I was subtracting. 103.
Correct. All right. Let's move to that next question. Let's go with Chandler. Chandler, I'm a whole number, but not an integer. What number am I? I'm a whole number, but not an integer. What number am I? Who can help him out?
0. 0.
I think 0 would work because does 0 have a negative?
No.
No, it doesn't. So 0 does sound good. All right. I'm a rational number, a whole number, and an integer. I'm a rational number, a whole number, and an integer. What number am I? I think this could be multiple numbers. What y'all want to go with?
5.
5 sounds good. Because we could do 5 over 1. 5 is a whole number. And 5 can be an integer because it has an opposite. And Chandler just told us in the chat as -5. All right, the next one says I'm a rational number and an integer, but I am not a whole number. What number am I? I'm a rational number and an integer, but I am not a whole number.
-5.
Do y'all agree or disagree? What makes a whole number?
A number that's positive.
And that you can do what? Just count, right? It's a counting number and 0, right? And when we learn to count, did we learn to count negatives?
No.
No. All right. I'm a rational number, but not an integer. I am located to the left of 0 on the number line. What number am I? I'm a rational number, but not an integer. And I'm located to the left of 0 on the number line.
It's
gonna be negative. That's all.
Yeah, it's definitely negative. Now remember that an integer is the opposite of a whole number. So what's a number that would be to the left of 0 that's a rational number? Can't hear y'all. Make sure you unmute yourself if you're muted. Haley, Roykia, Tashandri, Deonti, Christopher. Somebody help me out. It's a number that's to the left of 0, but it's not an integer. It's only a rational number. Remember, rational numbers are fractions. So what could it be? Come on, class. Go.
Negative 3/5.
Negative 3/5 sounds good.
Okay.
Anybody got another one? I mean, we only have 14 other people in here. Somebody ought to be able to come up with something. Remember, you got a test tomorrow, so you want to try to participate so you'll know. All right, let's take a look at our next one. What is the sum of these entries in my checkbook? Man, I'm glad this ain't my checkbook. All right. The sum of these, that means we have to do what with this? Good. So if we have 600 and we take away 85, what are we going to get? What's 10 minus 5?
5.
What's 9 minus 8?
1.
And then we got to bring that 5 down. So we're at 515. Now it says to take away 5 again. What's 5 minus 5?
0.
Good. Now it says take away 25. What's 10 minus 5?
5.
What's 10 minus 2?
8.
We got to bring down that 4. And now it says 485 plus 32. So I need to add 32 to this.
Yes.
What's 5 plus 2?
7.
What's 8 plus 3?
7. 11.
And what's 4 plus 1?
5.
Good. Now you also could have done this another way. Did anybody do this differently? We could have done 90 plus 25, which is 115. And we could have taken that away from 632. And let's see what we get. 12 minus 5 is
7.
good. 2 minus 1 is
1.
and 6 minus 1 is
5.
Isn't that the same thing as that?
Yes.
Yeah, that worked out good.
Yes.
All right. Read this for us, please. Let's go with Miss Laney. Laney, read this for us.
If my dogs eat 4 1/4 cups of dog food a day, how long will a 55-pound bag of dog food last?
All right, so the dogs eat 4 1/4 cups of dog food a day. So how long will a 55-pound bag of dog food last? How would you find this answer? What would you have to do?
55 divided by 4 1/4.
Correct. Can we do that? Yes or no? Possibly. What would we have to do to 4 1/4 to be able to divide it? Yes, ma'am, Jemiah.
My computer is finna go dead,
Well,
and
plug it
my
up.
charger is not working. I did. My charger not working.
I'm going to give you a hint. Take it out of the place that you're charging it and plug it into another socket and see if it works.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Haley. What do I need to do to 4 and 1 4?
We have to make it into an
Yep.
improv.
Good. So tell me how to do that. Don't I do the denominator times the whole number and then add the numerator?
Yes.
So what's 4 times 4?
16.
Good. What's 16 plus 1?
17.
Good. So I got 17 fourths. And so I got 55 divided by 17 fourths. But I can't really do that, can I? Because I can't divide by a fraction. I need to do what?
Put 55 over 1.
And then,
Multiply.
correct. So this is going to change to multiplication. And what happens here?
You multiply by the reciprocal.
Good. So we're going to have 55 over 1 times what?
4/17.
It's going to be a funky number. I'm just going to throw that out there. All right. So let's do 55 times 4. 4 times 5 is?
20.
And 4 times 5 is?
20.
Plus 2?
22 is 100.
So we got 220. And what's 1 times 17?
17.
So how are we going to figure this out? What do I need to do with this?
Don't know how to.
Don't I need to see how many times 17 goes into 220? Yeah. So let's do that. How many times does 17 go into 22?
1.
1. What's 12 minus 7?
5.
All right. How many times will 17 go into 50?
2 times.
Okay. 2 times 17 would be what?
34.
Good. And just to make sure, we couldn't do 34 plus 17, could we? 7 plus 4 would be 11, so that'd be 51. So that's why we said 2. All right. So we got 10 minus 4 is what?
6.
And 4 minus 3 is?
1.
All right. So we get 12 and 16 what?
12.
17.
17s. Yeah, because it's your divisor. The denominator is going to be that divisor. So we got 12 and 16 17s. So how long is the dog food actually going to last? If the dogs eat exactly 4 and 1/4 cups of dog food, how many days?
12.
12 days. Now, most people would probably just feed their dog a little bit less that next day and then go to the store to get some more dog food. But this person is like, my dog has to stay on this specific diet of exactly 4 and 1/4 cups of dog food because they're super special dog. All right. Let's go to this next one. see who we haven't heard from today. Let's go with Miranda. Are you there? All right. Figured that you weren't. Let's go with who else have we not heard from? Sarah's read, Tashandrick's read, Rokia, Layla, Laney, Haley, Emma, Deontay. Everybody's participating today. I'm proud of y'all. All right, let's go. Let's just get it. Here we go. Tashandrick, go ahead. Miss Owens.
Miss Owens put two more matching flower pots on her front porch. The flower pots cost $22.95 each. The total amount of potting soil she needs costs $14.50, and the flower she likes costs $2.75. What will what will it cost Carmen to buy the potting soil, two matching pots, and 5 flowers for each pot? Write your answer to the hundreds place.
All right. So she wants to put two matching flower pots on her front porch. The flower pots are $22.95 each. She needs potting soil. The total amount of potting soil is $14.50. So this right here is that the cost for both or just one? That $22.95.
Just one.
Yeah, so we need to multiply that by 2. And then it says the flowers she likes cost $2.75 each. So is that also being multiplied by 2?
Yes.
Well, yes, if we didn't read this. It says, what will it cost? Why does it say Carmen? Miss Owens to buy the potting soil, 2 matching pots, and 5 flowers for each pot. So we need to take this and multiply it by how much?
10.
Great. How'd you come up with 10?
Because she is buying 2 flower pots and she wants to put 5 in each.
Great. All right, so we got 275 times 10, which would be how much? Don't we just move that decimal one place to the right? What would that be?
$27.50.
Good. Then we need $22.95 times 2. And then we have to do something with $14.50. Don't we just add it?
Yes.
So I'm just waiting on y'all to come up with the $22.95.
$45.90.
Ooh. And what do I need to do with all of these?
Add them.
Okay. So what's 0 plus 0 plus 0?
0.
All right. What is 5 plus 5?
10.
Plus 9?
19.
Good. What is 7 plus 1?
8.
Plus 4?
12.
Plus 5?
17.
Good. What is 2 plus 1?
3.
Plus 1?
4.
Plus 4?
8.
All right. Let's check that work. Let's check that answer. I'm going to use a calculator to check it just to be safe. All right. We said 275 times 10 is 2750. Then we did 2295 times 2, and we got 4590. And then what did we do?
Added them.
Yeah. And we should have got $87.90. Is that what we got? So
Yes.
that would go right there. All right. All right, let's take a look at this one real quick. Christina reads a 90-page book in one evening. She read for a half hour before dinner and then read the rest of the book 2 1/4 hours after dinner. So what was the average number of pages per hour that Christina read? What do I need to do with 2 1/4 and 1/2 before I can figure out how much she read per hour?
Add them.
Yeah, I need to add them together. So what would I do to 2 1/4 to be able to add it to 1/2?
Make it an improper fraction.
I could make it an improper fraction, or what could I do with that denominator so that it's the same as this one? What do 2 and 4 have in common?
They're multiples of 2.
Yeah, so I could actually multiply this by 2. And so 2 and 1/4, I could add that to 1/2 by making 1/2 equal 2/4. So what is 1/4 plus 2/4?
3/4.
So I would get 2 and 3/4. Or we could say 2 and how many hundredths?
75.
Good. Now, she read a 90-page book. So what do I need to do so that I can figure this out?
Divide.
Yeah, I just divide. I need to do 90 divided by 2 and 75 hundredths. Or I need to do what Haley said earlier and convert this to an improper fraction real quick by doing this. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. So I get 11/4. And so I'd have to do 90 divided by 11/4, but I can't do that. I have to multiply by the reciprocal. So this would change to multiplication, and then we would have to flip that over. So what would be the reciprocal of 11/4?
4/11.
Good. So let's see what would happen there. What's 90 times 4? 9 times 4 is
36.
good. So we get 360 divided by 11. So 11 goes into 36 how many times?
3.
Good. So what's our answer got to be?
33.
Yeah, because it's the only one with a 3. All right, and then 11 goes into 30 how many times?
1.
It actually goes in there twice. You get 22, and then when we subtract them, we get 8.
Gotcha.
We bring that down, we get a 0, and 11 goes in here how many times? See number signs everywhere. 11 times 6 is 66. 11 times 7 is
77.
So look at that. It's going to start kind of repeating itself, but 32.7 rounds to what as the nearest whole number?
33.
Yeah, 33.
33.
Correct. All right, so we're going to look at one more problem. I'll tell you what, let's see. Yeah, we'll look at one more problem, and then we will review the other problems right before class tomorrow. That sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So it says, how much would I spend with Plan B for 350 texts? Plan A includes 200 texts at $35.99 plus 20 cents for each additional text. Plan B includes 300 texts for $47.99 plus 15 cents for each additional text. So what do I need to do with the 15 and this 50 that is over that 300?
Multiply.
Correct. So I'm going to take 50 and I'm going to multiply it by 15. Remember, there's a decimal there. All right, there's 2 decimal places. Remember that. I'm going to put a little 2 over here just so we remember. What's 0 times 5?
0,
Good. What's 5 times 5?
25,
Good. What is 1 times 0?
0,
What's 1 times 5?
5,
All right, now I need to add these together. What's 0 plus 0?
0,
5 plus 0.
5,
What's 5 plus 2?
7,
Had 2 decimal places, so I need to carry it. 1, 2. Now, what do I need to do with this 750 and that 47.99?
add it.
Okay. Anybody know what it's going to cost? Too much. I know that. I could use Straight Talk and only pay $45 for everything. All right. All right. Let's see. 9 plus 0. Somebody besides Emma say it. Emma's saying it anyways. What's 9 plus 0? 9. What's 9 plus 5? 9 plus 5.
14,
Thank you. 8 plus 7.
15,
Good. 4 plus 1.
5,
So how much would I be paying?
$55.49.
Perfect. All right. So we left off on page 10 of our study guide today. We'll cover questions 11 through 16. We will cover this tomorrow right before class. That sound good? All right, my boys and girls. Well, y'all have a fabulous day. If you have not looked at all your questions on your study guide, make sure you look at those. I am going to quickly take roll, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Make sure you're prepared for your test, okay?